Hi. I am so happy to be here. So a few months ago, you put me out of business as a scientist, except for my own entertainment. And so now I want to talk about being out of business as a teacher.
A little more background is in order here. We usually don't ask for the nitty-gritty, but what do you mean we put you out of business?
Well, not exactly. You know how that works.
So we thought.
So I asked you a few months ago about truth and knowledge and science, and the basic answer was, if you're having a good time doing it, then keep doing it. But if you think you're going to fix the world, give it up, honey. And I did, and I have had such a great time doing science since then. It's been so much fun. And I think as meaningful as it ever was, but I so get it that I'm just doing it because it's fun, which is quite shocking to me. So my other thing is kids with disabilities, and the mom who talked about her son with autism is so in my heart, because that's what I do, is I work with families that have kids with autism and other disabilities. And I think we're on the edge of a new paradigm for how we can work with kids, and I'm so excited about this. So for years we've taught them how to communicate, and in the last little bit we've really come to understand that it's parents just for allowing it.
Let us interrupt you, because you're right on something really good, and you can hold your place. We know you can. But we want to say in the middle of that sentence about teaching them to communicate, more of your communication amongst each other and with the universe in general, which is huge, is vibrational.
Yes.
Far more of it. Far more than 99% of your communication is vibrational. And your verbal is a spattering of it. And we just want to give you a basis, because you are at the heart of this movement. We just want to give you the understanding that you do not want to sacrifice the 99% of vibrational communication for the sake of the less than 1% of verbal communication.
I got it.
When so many people put so much emphasis on verbal communication and in the process lose connection with who they are, no gain has been made. Good.
So we got it. We got it. So a mom wrote me this letter last week and said, you taught me how to see and feel and know what my kid was communicating when I couldn't hear him. And it was it.
Isn't that nice to know? In other words, the
like
child
amazing.
knows. So what has happened here? What happened? Who taught who? This child said, I'll come forth and I won't use words, and I'll teach you to become a vibrational interpreter.
And she got it.
How about that?
And we got it. And now I want to do it and talk about it and still keep my job. And so here's really the question about being a teacher. You say to us, we are all teachers at the core of our being.
You think about what you just said. You just said, I get this now because these kids are teaching it to me.
Yeah.
These kids that were willing to be born different enough that they could teach it to me. And why did they have to go to that extreme? Why did they have to go to that extreme to teach it? Because the world doesn't want to hear it, and they'll fire anybody who doesn't agree with what already is. They've got such what-is-itis. They're so sure that they are right, that they're not willing. And so the kids say, all right, new plan necessary. We'll go forth in a way that they cannot demand it from us. They're going to have to figure it out from the inside out, you see. So what we're saying to you is, if they were willing to be born different in order to help you get it, aren't you willing to step out there a little bit? In other words, are you really so afraid of being fired that you can't speak what you know to be? Look at these kids and ask that question. They'll say to you, hey, we were born weird. The least you can do is stand up for what we were born for.
I hear you, and that is so scary.
Well, here's the good news. Nothing else will work ever.
Okay, so
nothing else will work. You're not going to conform them. You're not going to teach them. You're not going to make them different. You're not going to integrate them. You're not going to get them to defy the reason that they came forth in this way. They came to teach awakening, you see. And so that's the way the stream's going, and everybody that doesn't go with that stream's just going to get beat up really bad on it. And so you can decide, are you going to go with it, or are you going to stand in the ranks of those who are afraid to accept that it is a good thing that you are vibrational beings. That's what this whole message is about. We're vibrational more than we are verbal. We're vibrational more than we are visual. We're vibrational more than we are auditory. We are vibrational beings. We are vibrational beings, and we are creating on the basis of our vibration. And if we keep covering up our vibration with words, we're not ever going to be authentic. We're not ever going to find out who we are. We're not ever going to understand our guidance, and we're not ever going to get what we want until we croak. And then we'll say, oh, new plan. Next time I'll do it differently.
Yikes.
Tell us your dilemma. So what is it that we know and you know that you don't think they know that you're afraid to tell them?
Who's they?
Those who have the power to fire you. What is it that you know, that we know, that they don't know, that you're afraid that when you tell them, what is it?
Okay, so here's my deal. So I've spent like 20 some years.
What is it that you know, and what is it that you know and we know that they don't know that you're afraid to tell them?
It's this vibration thing, and it's about the language of okay, so
what is it that you know that we know that they don't know that you're afraid to tell them?
That they're just wrong.
Well, they know that it's not working. They know that it's not working. They haven't found the answer, so they don't have anything to crow about. Their plan isn't working.
It's like a paradigm shift. It's like a core paradigm shift. And now you're like our friend earlier. You're worried about all of those that aren't getting it. It's a pretty big burden to carry, isn't it? But when you bring it into your world and you think about one mother with one child who heard what you said and got fabulous results, doesn't that give you a feeling of wanting to tell another one? Absolutely. I'm fine with the parents. I'm totally cool with the parents. I'm totally cool with the kids. I'm less cool with my fellow faculty members.
And that's why the kids were born with autism.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. In other words, think about what you're saying. What you're saying is there is this socialized system that thinks that they have all the answers and wants to apply answers that don't work. And I intuitively, along with these that I'm interacting with, have discovered a viable approach that works. And how do I know it works? Because the mother feels better, and because the child feels better, and because we understand that the goal is joyful life. So what's so scary about expressing what you know in a way that will bring the results that you're looking for?
That's what I'm trying to do. So what's trying to evolve a language that makes sense to talk about it. And also knowing that being in the place that I am is a wonderful place to be, because I have such opportunity to talk to people about this. But if the language sends people over the edge, and they go, she's a flake, she's gone into woo-woo land, she's hanging out with those Abraham people again. They never say that. But you know what I'm saying?
We do know, because this body of work is revolutionizing this planet, and Oprah is afraid to have Abraham on her program because we're so weird. So we get what you're talking about. In other words, we're teasing you and torturing you a little bit.
But it's good.
We understand. And a teacher is only as effective as his understanding of where the student is. And so what you're saying is, I want to find a way that I can express it and they can hear it.
Yes.
I don't want to express it in a way that is so far out that doors begin slamming shut before they've even heard what's going on. And that's why we're saying your interaction with one and then another will give you a sort of basis of confidence. But here's the thing that we really want to say about this specific subject, to give you sort of an end run. In other words, to give you a way of approaching it with effectiveness without freaking everybody out about it. So consider this. As I've been interacting with so many of these children, I can feel I personally can feel the power of who they are. Now, nobody's going to argue with that. That's not going to freak anybody out. I can feel clarity from them that I don't always see. There's a deliciousness about them that is intoxicating to me. In other words, speak about how you feel drawn to them, to their power and clarity. And then say, I began thinking about, now, you can get a little religious if you want to. More of them would be comfortable with that than this. So then you can say, and I began asking myself, why would a loving God send pure, blessed beings forth as flawed and inferior? And I had to think. I don't believe that a loving God would. We must be misunderstanding. So, here they are. And if a loving God would not send them forth as flawed, that took me to the thought, maybe they aren't flawed. Maybe they're different, but not flawed. And then I thought about the basis of human interaction and how important communication is. And I thought, what if this loving God has set forth these children who are different to communicate in an evolved and expanded way? What if they have the ability to move beyond word? And then say, I always thought that human was the most advanced at all. And my dog, who often knows exactly what I'm thinking, very rarely says it right out loud in a way that anyone else could understand. And nobody ever wants to believe that the dog is more advanced than me. And that tripped me up, because when the children couldn't talk, I thought they must be less advanced like the dog, not more advanced in some way. And I think that's where I got off in my thinking. And once I crossed that milestone, once I realized that it is possible for this loving God to have sent forth these magnificent children, and that they may very well be advanced, once the idea occurred to me that they are advanced, not less than, now I wanted to begin to explore the possibility of that. And I began watching them. And I thought, what is it that all of us want? Whether it is a pile of money or a relationship or an experience or a circumstance or event, why do we want the things we want? And I thought, we want them because we think we'll be happier in having them. And then I looked at these children, and I got to tell you that aside from the frustration that is fostered in them from trying to get them to do things that they cannot easily do, they are mostly happy children. And I thought, they are. They are advanced. They have come forth understanding something that many of us want to understand. They have a bead on happiness. You can leave it there at first. You can say, so now my quest, I can feel that my mission, the goal that I've set for myself, I'm going to explore these children from the premise that they are advanced, not flawed. I'm going to explore these children from the premise that they have something to teach us, not that they are inferior and need teaching from us. That's the stance I'm taking. And then begin to tell this story and this story and this story and this story and this story of this little one and his relationship with his mother and what it was like before and now what it's like and how they are communicating and what a wonderful world it is. And it is our promise to you that once they get the vibration square between them, the words will come.
Yes.
But the words are not going to come until the vibration is lined up,
That's right.
you see.
That's
when you demand words without vibration being lined up, you're not going to get it. You'll have the success that you're looking for, and they will not shun you. They will put you on a pedestal and say, you figured it out.
It's mind-boggling. It changes our whole notion of what is intelligence and what is learning. It is at the fundamental understanding of what is human.
Those are perfect words. It changes your fundamental understanding of communication as well. Because you think you're communicating through words, but you are not. You are communicating through attitude. You can't be mad at someone and use flowery, smiley words and communicate anything other than that you are mad at them, because your vibration is much, much bigger than your words. And you live in a society, and most of those people that you know and all of those teachers, they are hypocritical. They are phonies. This is what is sending the children crazy. Mothers say, don't you know I love you? When there's no love in her vibration whatsoever, you see. Good time for a segment of refreshment.